Welcome to another video. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. For those of you who are new here, my name is Nena and I'm a life coach that specializes in personal development. On this channel, we just talk about everything having to do with personal growth and our emotional well-being. So if you're not already a subscriber, please take a moment to subscribe because we definitely want you to be part of our community. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about mistakes and more specifically the fear of making mistakes. I feel that the fear of making mistakes is something that really robs us from having so much progress and joy in our life because we end up living life in such a constrained and controlled fashion that we never really get out there and live. When I started thinking about this topic, an example from my own life kind of popped into my head, so I wanted to go ahead and share it with you, and hopefully you will find it helpful. I've always been a really artistic person, so many of my hobbies have to do with the arts, and the arts are something that have always been just a wonderful creative outlet for me and a huge source of happiness. But for some reason, when I picked up playing the guitar, which was probably when I was about 15 or 16 years old, I had a really different attitude about it. I wanted to get it right. So I noticed when I was practicing guitar that I really just only let myself get a couple notes in, and the second I made a mistake, I would immediately get really frustrated, stop playing, and go right back to the beginning of the song. And I would keep doing this and I would just not really progress very far. I would get to the end of the practice session and really not have accomplished very much. And I really had a serious attitude about it, which I don't think is negative, but I definitely feel that it was holding me back. So I practiced like this for years and years, and I, again, never really got that far. I'm surprised actually that I kept up with it because it wasn't providing a lot of joy for me. I was still really interested in it, but I kept stopping myself and I just wanted to be perfect so bad that, it just never really happened for me. So for some reason, one day I just began to practice a different way. I started to play and kind of gloss over the mistakes. So when I heard the wrong note being played, I just kind of muddled through it, and I really wanted to get to this good section of the song. So I kept going, and I actually got to the end of the song, which never really happened. I always would stop myself, so it would only happen in sections. But this time I allowed myself to play the entire song from start to finish with all the mistakes being present. And I noticed that not only did I not really notice the mistakes as much, I didn't really care about them. And all of a sudden, it was like a whole new world opened up for me because I enjoyed it so much. It was like playing an entirely new instrument. Then it hit me that there was this huge parallel between my guitar playing and everything else in my life. There's an expression that is, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And while that may not always be the case, I think that so often is the case. And that was certainly the case for me. So I really learned from that experience that when you allow yourself to make mistakes, that you actually learn a lot faster and life instantly becomes so much more fun. And I also learned that making mistakes can often be a gift. So for example, I found out that when I was playing and I would make a mistake, sometimes I would go, that sounded pretty cool. And what I learned from that is that I really enjoy songwriting much more than I enjoy playing guitar note for note. Now I still like to play guitar note for note when I'm able to do so, but I get even more enjoyment out of being creative and writing my own music, and that has become a much bigger hobby for me than sitting down and playing someone else's music. So it was just an example about the importance of mistakes, and that when we choose to focus so much on making mistakes and being perfect all the time, how it's really just a mental handcuff for us. We really can't accomplish anything because mistakes are such an integral part of learning everything. And life is a learning process, which means we are going to make mistakes. We're going to make tons of mistakes, and we need to be okay with that. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't aim to do our best at all times. It just means we have to be realistic and understand that, again, it is part of the process of life to make those mistakes. We so unfairly compare ourselves to others when it comes to making mistakes, because what people put out in the public arena is a finished product. So it's very rare that you find someone, for example, if we're going with guitar, putting a clip of themselves playing guitar with lots of mistakes in it. More often you're going to find them playing something perfectly, or something that is a track that has actually been polished or from a professional gig. So we need to think about all the mistakes that they had to make to be able to get to a point that they could have a clip that looked so seamless and perfect. So we have to remember that making mistakes is actually a very efficient way to learn. We're going into something kind of head first, full on, and just learning from the mistakes that we make in the process, as opposed to being so constrained and cautious and not really allowing ourselves to progress because we're so fearful of those mistakes, which are going to happen anyway. There is no way that we can really stack things always in our favor or have enough knowledge going into anything that we're going to get to the point that there is going to be a guarantee that we won't make a mistake. So love yourself, accept yourself, and embrace your mistakes. They are your greatest teacher. They are a gift in so many cases. So I hope this is helpful for you, and I hope it makes you think about the things in your life that could be really being held back by that fear of making mistakes. If you did find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone else who may need to hear this message today. Also, again, if you haven't subscribed, please do. We would love you to be part of the community, and I greatly look forward to seeing you next time. Have an awesome day, everybody. Great to see you.